Hello everyone, I'm Jenny Floriday. I'm here on behalf of SMACNA of Greater Chicago, and this is our Lunch and Learn. The topic for the day is Bluebeam, and today's subject is sets. So before we get started, I want to point out that I'm using Bluebeam 2018 today. The interface is quite different than the Bluebeam 2017 interface. So what are sets? Well, in a nutshell, sets allows you to open up multiple revisions of a document and see them adjacent to each other. I'm looking at a set right now that I created prior to this session, and here I am looking at the most current version of the drawing, but if I come down here and click, I will see the previous version of the drawing. And it has superseded on it so that you don't mistake which version is the most current. So you can add revisions on top of each one of your drawings, and all previous revisions will have a superseded stamped on it. Let's get started. I found the Sets menu on the left-hand side of the screen. This is what it looks like, and it opens up this panel. I have a series of drawings that we're going to be looking at today. I'm going to create a new set, and it just tells me that it allows you to view a collection of individual sheets as if they are a single doc. So I have to go and find those documents. So I'm going to click on Add, and I'm going to say Add a whole folder. Here's where my drawings are stored. I separated each one of the versions of the drawing of the revisions into different folders. So here's the original one. If I click on this and I do a select, it populates the entire folder into my screen. So I'll click on OK. And the first thing it wants to do is have you designate where the sheet name is. So I'm going to click on Select, and I'm going to block out where it says Site Plan because that's where the sheet name is. I'll say OK. Now it wants me to do the same thing with sheet number. I'll block this out. And what it's going to do is it's going to look at the same place in all of the drawings and pull up the sheet name and the sheet number for me wherever it can. I'll click OK, and it's going to create like a table of contents. Let me just widen this out so you can see what's in here. So there's our file names, there's the page labels, and it didn't capture all of the sheet names and sheet numbers, most likely because the way that the sheets were arranged, the names didn't come in clearly, but I can easily do that. I'll just highlight both of these cells. I'll click on Auto Mark. It takes me to the first page that it couldn't find the information and says select it. So most likely it's because this was 2 rows for the name. And I'll say that looks good. And it did both of these sheet names for me. Now I'll do the same thing with sheet number. And I'll say OK. And it's filled that in. Notice also that in this table, there is the revision number is set to 0. Future revision numbers will increment by 1, 2, and 3. Let's go and click OK. It's brought in all of the drawings that were in that folder. I have my set created. I'm going to go up to the Sets combo box, and I'm going to save this set. I had saved one earlier. I'll just replace that one, and I'll say Save, and I'll say Yes. Now I want to add to this set. So to add to this set, I will click on Add Files to Set. I'll get the same information, and now I'm going to go up a level, and I'm going to go find my Revision 1 drawings. In this instance, I have to do a click and a shift click to select all the files. I can't select the whole folder. I'll do an open. Okay, so because all of the files were named consistently, we have an A201 construction plan level 01 Rev 1, and we also have an A201 construction plan level 1 without anything after it. So the important thing is your naming convention has to adopt the exact same first portion of the name, and you can add Rev 1, Rev 2, Rev 3 to it. So that has been pulled in successfully, and you'll notice these have revision 1 next to them. So I will click OK, and this is what comes up on the screen. It's matching the pages based on the page names. If there wasn't a match, you could easily click on one of these and remove them, but everything looks good. Also, note it says select OK to copy markups from the current pages to the revised pages and stamp the current page superseded. I will click on OK. It is now stamping the superseded pages and placing the most recent version on top. Let's go look at A201. And what happens is in this panel, if I click to the left, so this is the current version of that document. If I click to the left, there's the previous version. I have to click on it to actually pull it up on the screen. So that's the quick overview of what happens with sets. Let's look at a couple of the other features. If I click up here, I can go in and modify the tags that were created. That's going to be that little table that pops up. I don't really need to do that, but that's where it will take you. Sometimes you might want to add just one drawing into the existing set. That's another way of modifying it. We've done this already. That's add files to set. Here's our edit tags if I want to go and change any of the tags that were created earlier. This will allow me to search the set. If I wanted to search the set for any of the visual markings on it, I could do that. This is a way of looking at these thumbnails. If I click on this, it hides them, and I can still go in and move between the two, the superseded and the current. And I just see the names of them instead of the thumbnails. I'll go back to the thumbnail view. And if I go back here to sets, I need to do a save set of this version also. I'm going to go in and do a save set as, and this is going to be revision 1 set 2. And since it already exists, I'll replace it. The other thing that you can do with the set is if I hit my right mouse right now, I'm on top of one of the sets that have changed. I can go in and do a compare of documents. Instead of doing a straight compare, I'm going to do an overlay pages. And so it's showing me, okay, this is, the first one is going to be in red, the second one's going to be in green. I will click OK. And if I zoom in here, you can see that the prep dish was added in the revision in the current version of this file. You can also go over to the left, clicking on this, and hit the right mouse, and I could print just that set if I wanted to. What the compare documents does is it takes both of those, and I'm going to click on OK. And instead of doing an overlay, also notice that overlay is its own new document and this compare is its own new document. What it does is it creates a clouded area to show you where things were actually changed without showing you what was changed. Going back to sets, let's see if there's anything we've missed here. If I wanted to publish this, I could go into the publish, and what combine does is it allows you to pull all of the pages together, all of the revisions together. Create a PDF package is an interesting one. We'll click on that. So this works well if you're going to store this document out on your network. So what it does is it allows someone to have hyperlinks when they open up this PDF. Notice package 1, it's its own file name. And it will allow me, by clicking on this, to open up any of these individual drawings that were included in here. And let's see if there's anything else we want to look at today. The print set, you can say print all, or just the latest revisions or the previous revisions. I think that pretty much covers what sets are. They're pretty nice. The fact that your markups move with the revisions, I think, is most helpful for everyone. So the latest revision is always going to have all of the previous markups in it. They stay separate documents. You're just allowed to see them in this screen. If you make any changes to them, those changes are saved to the documents, like superseded. When we open up superseded on this drawing in the future, it will have superseded stamped on it. And there is a way to remove that if you don't want it any longer. But they are still separate documents. You're just viewing them together in one screen. In fact, I'm going to go in here before we close, and I'm going to say close my set. And after you're done creating the sets, now you want to go back and look at them again. You don't have to recreate them. You just go into this menu and you say open the set. And as long as you named it, it opens up all of those individual drawings again in the same window. It's pretty nice, isn't it? Hope you'll be able to use it, and I hope you enjoyed the session today. Thanks so much for joining me.